Hey there everybody, welcome back to the channel. Luxury Low Nick here, and please like, subscribe video if you like, if this content, if it helps you out with any information I can give you from these videos, or just entertainment from the videos for that matter. But today's video is going to be an RC related video, and I want to talk to you guys and gals who may be interested in getting into the RC hobby grade, or some may even call professional grade hobby grade, but hobby grade for the more or less hobby grade RCs, vehicles, cars, trucks, on-road cars, off-road rally cars, whatever the case may be. There's others as well. There's RC helicopters, RC planes, RC boats, which those I don't currently have right now. But today I want to get into the whole topic on the RC vehicles in general, whether it may be we're going to touch the topic on crawlers, on-road cars, drag cars, which technically fall under the on-road category, but there's a little bit of difference in everything depending on what you're looking to do RC wise and the fun you want to have, because each and every different RC there is out there is meant for different things depending on what you want out of it, what you want to do out of it, or what type of RC fun you want to get into. Not just boats to cars to planes, but to even any on-road vehicle for that, more off-road even vehicle for that matter. So we're going to start off. My first question would be, or thing you got to look into is, what do you want out of your RC, or what do you want to do with it? If you want something fast, then at that point, if you're looking for something fast, you can have fun fast and going fast and whatnot, then crawlers are out of the question for you. Not per se meaning in that kind of way, because there's still fun in that too. But per se, you're not into going slow and crawling around in the middle of the woods. You want to play around the street in front of your house or a big empty parking lot and just go speed around, go fast, and have fun. There's two options for you there. Number one, you have your on-road touring cars. Now, the on-road touring cars are going to be more or less set up like this. Now, here are two perfect examples. To the right, you have your on-road drag vehicle. To the left is an on-road touring car. Now, there are multiple differences here in this decision here and what you're going to make. Again, because like I said, not only is there differences in each type of vehicle type RC you want that you may want to get, which is a deciding factor in what you want to do and which one you're going to get as well. But each type, like the on-road versus off-road RCs, these on-roads have different types in themselves as well. Now, a drag car is typically set up more or less straight line runs. You can go fast. You can get these things to go very fast. But they're two-wheel drive usually only. You can set an on-road car up as drag set for a drag setup as well. But these are more these two-wheel drive chassis are usually short course truck style chassis like that. And they're set up with different suspension stock from the Traxxas manufacturer, DR10 Team Associated, like that kit there. But besides the point, they're set up to do specifically that. This kit came wheelie bars and all, and it comes, like I said, a short course chassis. It's usually set up two-wheel drive with your motor in the back. This one's brushless. Most drag cars that I've seen and come to know are brushless setups. And you got your ESCs, to handle brushless 2 or 3S LiPo battery capable. And they're set up low center of gravity, so you're not flipping the thing over when you're going fast because all the wind's getting underneath it. And usually the bodies are set low on the chassis too to help with the wind not getting on our tube, or however else you set up a different body. Now, again, this is a Team Associated DR10 drag car kit, which you have to assemble. You can get this specific one ready to run. Traxxas as well has a version of their own of this. I don't know if they have a builder's kit for their drag car, but Traxxas does have a ready-to-run drag car, which is about $500. This builder's kit from the DR10, I believe, is a lot cheaper than the $500 price tag, but you gotta assemble it. This one here, I did have to assemble, and it comes with the slicks. It comes with all the front wheels back, all that. You just mainly, I think, last I remember, I think you have to just assemble some of the chassis stuff, but you basically got to put your own ESC and your own motor in it. Now, the wheelie bars for these, there's usually different settings. You can see there's 2 other holes there. I could adjust the wheelie bars, but I have it adjusted as lowest setting so that it doesn't do wheelies, because when you put a brushless power setup to a 2-wheel drive short course chassis, they are wheelie monsters. They just hook for the most part with these slicks, and they just grip and go and wheelie like crazy. This setup here with the Castle motor and Sidewinder 3SC, I have on a 3S LiPo hit about 40 miles an hour with the front wheels still in the air, hanging on the wheelie bar. It's just way more than it really needs. I don't exactly remember what the pinion and spur gear account that I have set up in there is. But that's one choice. You have your drag car chassis. So if you want to go just straight line fast, and I have seen people like street bash these, as in drive them around on the street and everything else, and really just enjoy them on the street. You're probably going to have more fun with something like this running a 2S LiPo, because you're not going to heat up the motor in ESC that much. Then this is your other stop. Your all-wheel drive touring car. These are really fun because there's so many things you could do with this on-road touring car. They're great for grip, like racing on a track, or like turns or whatever else, like a on-road, basically your normal on-road car track. You could if you can get one with a chassis setup or different even springs, and modify your suspension in other ways to get a little extra height, you could throw rally wheels and tires on a all-wheel drive touring car setup like this and rally it. Or you could leave it like this, set up like I said, with the sticky on-road race tires and drag it. You could race it on the track, or even plastic hard tires for drifting if you want to drift around, because that's another thing that people are doing with these on-road cars, the touring car chassis. Now, granted, there are 2-wheel drive touring car chassis that are drift cars as well. So, therefore, you probably could get a 2-wheel drive short course truck and drift with that still. It might be a little bit more challenging being the rear wheel drive versus the 4-wheel. 4-wheel, you have a little bit more control. But these are a lot of fun. Brushed motors or even brushless setups in them, they're a lot of fun. This current one here, this is a Tamiya Tt01. This car here, it is all-wheel drive. It does have a Castle 4-pole motor. I believe it's Castle. Yes, it's Castle. It has a Reedy ESC with the fan. And I believe this one has a different receiver on it. I believe it's a Kyosho receiver or something like that, or a Redcat. But it's a lot of fun. I've driven this thing around on a 2S. It's a lot of fun with rubbery, sticky tires. It still drifts around if you really try, but grips for the most part. Or you throw, like I said, you could throw hard plastic drift tires on these and have fun all day long drifting these things around. It's a lot of fun. It's a blast. This thing, I haven't been able to top speed check it yet. With this brushless setup and sticky, grippy tires, I've been told I could see about 40, 50 miles an hour, maybe 50 miles an hour out of it, if I gear it right. I don't know what gears are in it now, because I recently got this. So this is going to be for another video too, as much as in-depth. I'll make another video with more in-depth information and stuff on these, even though I pretty much gave a lot of information on them already. But I'll do, for the most part, their own breakdown videos on all the cars or whatnot. But yeah, that's pretty much it for these cars. Like, you got, if you want to find out that you want to go fast, you have two options for on-road cars. You can go straight line drag racing fast, or you can go on-road track car fast and throw the plastic drift tires on and have fun drifting in front of your house. You could drift in your kitchen, your garage, or you can even go to local drift tracks too if you have one near you and have fun with that too. But these two are very good options for that if you want to get into the drag car or the on-road track car or touring car, as they call them. So those are two good options for your on-road if you want to go that route. Also the drift cars, which the drift cars technically fall under the touring car chassis, because a lot of the drift cars use touring car chassis. They're just hard plastic drift tires on a touring car chassis, and you got a drift car for the most part. Basically, like, the drag cars are basically a short course Traxxas Slash or whatever else there is out there. And it's set up with low center of gravity, tub, and drag slicks and the right suspension, and you got a drag car. So there are a lot of people out there who will buy a Traxxas Slash and just convert it into a drag vehicle. But that's that. So that's it for pretty much for what I have right now for on-road. But there's also one other option if you really want to get into it, and it's a bit expensive, but it's not as fun as the fast stuff, but it's still fun in its own aspect. If say you want to just something to play around, have fun, you don't care about going fast, you want to just have fun, maybe do some cool stuff. Your other option that you have would be this Redcat64 Impala. They also have Redcat, by now, has a Monte Carlo variant of this car that's available. This isn't a fast car at all. It's not meant to go fast. If that's not what you want, you don't want to go fast, you want something to just go slow, have fun, play around with, this is a fun car, RC vehicle to have. Its sole purpose is to just putt around and flip switches, bounce it around, dance it around, hit 3 wheels, motion, raise the front and back. It's a lowrider. It's a legitimate RC lowrider. Now, at the time that I got this, they were going around for around $600 brand new. I don't know if since they have the Monte Carlo variant, I don't know if the 6.4s are still going for $600 or not. That's something you'd have to look into on their website, redcat.com, or any of the other hobby websites that can still get that. You could also get them from jevries.com. But that's that. You want to go low and slow, hit switches, lowrider RC is for you. You want to go fast and have fun doing that, you got two options. You can go drag car or on-road touring car. That's the on-road car stuff. Now we're going to go to the off-road stuff. I'll be right back. All right. Now, like I said, when it comes to crawlers, just like on-road cars, you have options. So if going slow and crawling over obstacles is your thing, there's the crawlers. Sorry. There we go. Now the camera's all back. If you want to go fast and go off-road, then the off-road basher short course trucks are your thing, which there's a variety of different options as well, especially two-wheel or four-wheel drive. The crawlers are always four-wheel drive. Now, there's multiple options in this aspect. We're going to start with the off-road bashers, because it gets two different categories in this aspect. You got your short course style truck, which is what this is. Short course style trucks are always going to have a desert off-road racer style look and suspension and handling aspect to them. There are either 2 or 4-wheel drive versions available, and I believe to my knowledge, every RC manufacturer makes them, from Redcat to Traxxas to Axial, I think everybody. Now, if you want something a little more monstrous for maybe your flavor, your cup of tea, then there's the Basher monster trucks. And you have multiple options there. This is a vintage Tamiya Cloudbuster monster truck. These came all-wheel drive. They came, or four-wheel drive, I should say. They're not lock differentials or anything, but they're four-wheel drive, four-wheel steering. A lot of these are out of plastic suspension links apart, which makes them not as tough as others, but this thing I gotta give credit because it's pretty damn durable and waterproof. I bashed it on jumping snowbanks and putzing around in the backyard and side yard in the snow, and this thing is very fun in the snow. And even just bashing and even mud if you want to really get that far. This setup though, the Tamiya Cloudbuster has a pretty interesting setup. The motors are on the axles. So there's one motor per axle on these things. The ESC on these vintage ones is a mechanical one, which this one currently doesn't have anymore because it went. So I put a more modern Traxxas ESC and receiver in it, which is a nice thing about a lot of these RCs. Doesn't matter what it is, crawler, lowrider, bashers, or even a drag car. A lot of these parts, for the most part, can be interchangeable for the most part, especially bodies you can change. Say you didn't like the body, you can put a different body. But anyway, back to the monster truck style bashers. There's multiple different options you have there too. Vintage Tamiya Cloudbuster, which I do believe they repopped them and make newer versions now called the Super Cloudbuster. And you could still get, if you're lucky enough to find a vintage one like this, like I did, jump on it if you can get it for a good price. Jump on it, because they're just hard to come by, these vintage ones. Next option you have would be the Traxxas the Traxxas Rustler, or the Traxxas Stampede, which I don't currently have anymore. But they're a similar setup to the Tamiya Cloudbuster. They look a little bit wider stance and stuff, but they're still classified as a monster truck style basher. Those the Cloudbuster and the Tamiya, no, damn it, the Rustler and Stampede are 2-wheel drive or four-wheel drive options. So depending on what you want to do, you want to spend a little bit. Now, what you got to remember too, the 4-wheel drive options are always going to be more money than the 2-wheel. And another cool option you have with the Traxxas monster trucks is you can get a brushed or brushless motor in the seat setup stock. So if you want something you're going to bash with a little more power and speed, then you go for the brushless setup. If you want something you're just going to, it's fine. Or do you want to get for a young kid, your son, daughter, whatever, and you feel like you don't want them to something that's going to be too much power for them, then by all means, the brushed is where you want to stick, which is still cool. Now, this one here I'm going to show you. This is a pretty neat combination of the two. This is a combination of monster truck basher and rock crawler in one. Because this particular vehicle here started out as a crawler. It's the Traxxas Trx4 platform. It has locking, unlocking differentials, 2-speed transmission, and this particular one has a lot of metal upgrades to the suspension, to the portal axles, drive shaft, whatever. And this is beefed up to the point to handle monster truck style bashing. The bodies, however, take a beating, so they don't. But this particular one has been jumped for the most part. I have done donuts in the snow, played around like that with these Cloudbuster wheels and tires set up on here. But when I still want to go crawling with this, it's just a matter of unbolting these wheels and throwing on a set of crawler tires. And then I can go crawling with this still. So that's another option too. If you want something you could do best of both worlds, then by all means, it's a little more work and involved and more money you're going to have to put into the setup to get to that point. But a crawler that can do basher stuff is always a fun thing to have too. You could have the best of both worlds, but you're going to have to put money into them, upgrading stuff to make it strong enough to handle the bashing. And then after you add all that weight and strength, you need to go faster and with more power. So you have to upgrade to a brushless setup, which is going to be next for this. This is still currently brushed, but I'm going to run a brushless motor and ESC in this pretty soon. I have not decided yet on what setup I want to go with. There's so many different options. But now that we touched bases on monster truck bashers, short course truck bashers, and combinations of the two crawler and basher monster trucks, now we're going to go into the crawlers. And where this gets fun is there's different scales. Now, depending on how much room you have and how much your budget is, That is a Traxxas Trx4 Sport. That brand new goes for about 370, I think, somewhere around 370. This is a Hobby Plus CR24 124 scale crawler. This I paid a little over like $108.60 something or 90 something cents shipped to my house. And this is basically a smaller version of this. A lot of the same setup this has, that has. LiPo battery, brushed motor. 90% of the crawlers that I know of stock come brushed motors because you don't need brushless speed out of a crawler because you're going slow, crawling. Thus the name, giving them the name crawler because they're meant to go crawling, go slow over, climbing over obstacles. As you will see in another video when I get more in depth with this. I was going to do an unboxing separately on this, but I kind of already, as you can see, took it out of the box. But I will be doing uploading another video on this so you can see more and learn more about this, because just in case you're curious, because who in the world can't afford a $100 crawler? It's technically $90 on the website, but after tax, shipping, blah, 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 whatever, to me, it came to $108 and I think 90 cents, which is a steal. They do have crawlers that are cheaper. There's also other 124 scales as well. This one, I forgot the manufacturer, but I believe it's called a Barrage. And it's basically the same 124 scale. Still has a brushed motor. Still uses a LiPo battery. I believe this one comes with a 2-cell LiPo. That comes with a 1-cell. But same thing. Soft, squishy tires. Look how soft and squishy. And these tires are very sticky, compound, and soft. So in nice flexible suspension. But that's what you want in a crawler. This one doesn't have too much. But anyway, that's another video. But like I said, for 90, 75, there, I think these average, they're each different. There's different brands, but different brands have different pricing. But I've seen these 124 scale crawlers in general go from anywhere from like $70, $100 to $200. But they're a lot of fun. So if you don't have a lot of room or you don't go outside in the trails and woods, you want something you could just play around at your desk at work with, or at the house, drive over your TV remotes or something, just putt around in the house and have fun with. These are a lot of fun. If you like to get outside and explore, go out hiking, this is a good idea. It makes hiking so much more fun with these because you're not just hiking anymore and exercising. You forget you're even exercising because you're watching this thing go crawling over things and having so much fun controlling it, making it crawl over the craziest things you never thought an RC car could make it over. And they're a lot of fun. Now, another aspect of the crawlers, which even makes it fun too, which you have to really watch on which one you buy and where you go. They have a lot of these advertised as waterproof or being waterproof. These electric RCs, because that's a whole other topic too. There's electric RCs and there's gas powered. Gas powers are always going to be more expensive, and there are pros and cons to each, obviously. Gas versus electric RCs. And now I'm getting off the topic, but the to me, the gas powered RCs are a little bit more of a pain in the butt to deal with, because the gas powered ones, you have to mix that mixture just right. The gas, the oil, I think most of them are 2-stroke, or you run nitro, whatever it is. But you got to get the mixture just perfect, or they'll never run right, or they're just going to be bad at you, those things. So for me, it's easier to just charge a battery, plug it in, and go. But back to electric crawlers. These, majority of the 90% of the crawlers out there now, the 110 scale, you are LiPo capable. You can run 2 or 3 cell for the most part on a lot of them. These little guys I think some of them, or a lot of them that I've seen so far, like this one here, the Barrage, is 2S. Axial makes an SCX24 124 scale crawler that is also, I believe, a 2S powered battery, LiPo battery. This is a 1S LiPo. The manufacturer claims, we'll get to that in another video. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm sorry. But yes, back to the whole topic here. There's options. And another fun thing about any of these RCs in general, depending on, it doesn't matter whichever you're looking to get or what you, like I said, what you really want to do with them or what you want to get into, there are so many different options as to like parts to hop them up, make them cooler or faster, or bodies. You might have, say you had, for example, back in the day, you had a mid to late 70s Ford truck, and you'd love to get an RC 110 scale crawler and put a late 70s Ford truck body on it to make it look like your old one. Well, there you go. They make bodies. If you had an old van, you were the shaggin' wagon kind of guy. Well, you got all the girls back in the day. Bam, there you go. If you're a Toyota guy, Toyota RAV4. This body is a bit beat up. It's been gone through the trails, but it's still a fun body. I love running that body. But there's so many different bodies. Say you like personalizing your crawler or RC car. You got different crawler wheels and tires you can do. There's different wheels, tires you could put on them. You know, if you want to make them faster, you got different motors you could throw in these things. There's different shocks. Say you want to adjust height or you want to adjust stiffness of the shock, how stiff they are. Bam. There's different spring rates and different springs. There's just so many aspects to any of these RCs that you could really make it, personalize it to yourself and how you like them, how you want it to look. That's half the fun about these RCs. The other half is getting outside and playing with them. Having fun with your kids, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your mom, your dad, anybody in the family, your friends. Getting out there, whether it's in front of the house, your house, on the street, or in an empty parking lot, across the street, wherever you go, it would take it that you have, you could take it. That's half the fun, is getting out there and playing with these things. They're a blast. But that being said, this video's already gone over a half hour, so I'll cut it short from there. Like I said, you got options. You want 110 scale crawlers, 124 scale crawlers. I think they even have 118 scale now. Which is a whole other thing. Prices depend on size, models, who makes them, what they come with, what they don't come with. You got bashers. Your short course trucks, they make different scales. On-road cars, they make different scales. There's all different scales depending on what you want to do in types. So, like I said, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Getting into these, you really got to ask yourself what you really want to get out of it, what you want to do, and what kind of fun you want to have. Are you going slow, crawling in the trails, crawling over rocks, going through streams and mud and having fun? That kind of guy? Then a crawler is for you. Do you like going off of dirt jumps and swooping around, kicking up dirt drift tails and drifting around in the dirt? Then a short course truck's for you in your future. Or even an on-road rally car. If you can get find a on-road touring car chassis with the set up for that. Which I believe Traxxas makes an on-road rally car. And if that's not for you, you want to go slow, like I said, you got your Redcat64 lowrider. You want to hop around. Monster trucks. You got it all. Then there's helicopters. There's boats if you want to get involved with boats. Going swimming, and if you want to swim in after them and when you lose reception or whatever. But I think a lot of the technology that's into the boats and helicopters nowadays is just so far advanced. You'd be surprised, but it's really cool stuff regardless. But I like the RC hobby a lot. I'm glad I got into it late because I couldn't really afford it when I was younger. Now that I'm older and I make good money, I can afford this hobby because it's something I've always wanted to do, and I have a blast. Keeps me out of trouble, gives me something to do, and I have a lot of fun with it. So I hope you guys can have fun. We'll have fun with it too, and enjoy and get out there on RC. Whatever. Hopefully, hope this video helped with a decision you might want to make as to what type of RC you could want to go for or want to get into. So, thank you guys and gals, and have a good day. Peace out.